Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I'm so glad that you're here spending time with us on this Monday afternoon. Depending on where you are, it's afternoon. I guess some places you're coming from might be still morning. But thank you so much for being here this week at the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab. And together, we're bringing this to you for no cost at all, just for you, so you can be uplifted, so you can grow, so that you can make a great living in photography, especially on the portrait side of photography. And Amanda is here with us today. Amanda, would you like to share anything with us today?
Hey everybody, how are you today? I know it's Monday. Oh, I know I'm running around. I'm sure y'all are, but thank you so much as always for spending your noon already. Can you believe it's noon? I'm just like running around, like I said. So thank you again for joining us again. Jim, thank you as always for doing and dedicating your time for Portrait Profits to educate the entire photography community that supports this. We don't have any major announcements, but what I do want to do is, hey guys, it's about to be September. I know many of you, if you're professional photographers, are starting to think about the Christmas season, which I can already tell you because we're really busy and this is traditionally a slow season for us, or what we consider a slow season. Christmas is going to be revved up and ramped up. So let that be a tip from somebody that prints all the time, that we're starting to see even earlier requests for gifts, requests for greeting cards, because people know that it's going to be pretty busy in our industry. So they're trying to get a jump on it. So that's my tip for you. The other thing is, if you didn't know, that Digital Pro Lab does more than just print photos. We also do greeting cards. So if you want to offer your clients custom created greeting cards to add an upsell option to your photography, your prints that you offer them, those greeting cards are another way that you can create that upsell for them. And it gives them something that they can send out to their family and their friends. It's always something nice to give them. We also specialize in specialty products. So any nice little mugs or mouse pads or metal panel prints, slate products, wood product. Those are different things that are, a little different than a standard photographic print. It makes a great gift. It's something a little bit different that they can give to their family members. So you want to be able to offer those options to your clients, get them excited about some of the different things that you can do. And it also allows you to experiment a little bit with something other than prints. I'd love to see actually in the comments how many of you do more than just photographic prints. Has anybody experimented with metal, or do greeting cards, or offer mugs or other types of specialty products? So stay tuned to the end. I'm going to make sure that we get you a really great promo code for some specialty products. And I'm going to enter that here in a little bit so Jim can share it with you at the end of the day, or at the end of the session. So thanks again for joining us. Jim, as always, thank you. Go to Digital Pro Lab, visit us. Here in San Antonio at 10103 San Pedro. We always look forward to seeing and meeting y'all in person, but thanks for joining us online.
As always, Amanda, thank you for all that you do. We know, I think everyone here knows that you are one of the major players here in San Antonio. You really do want to help out photographers. It's your goal. It's what you do. It's what you spend your time doing. It's who you love. And you guys, if you've got questions, especially on the printing side of things, she's an awesome resource. Yeah. Go to Digital Pro Lab. There's a lot of people there who are awesome resources. They can help you. Every once in a while, I come across someone who, in fact, quite often, who says, I'm not printing yet. And they say the reason is because they're uncomfortable with it. It's too new. They're used to what they're doing, just doing digital files, and they kind of feel like they probably should. They're thinking, well, I'm a professional. I probably should at least offer prints, but I don't know that side. I'm uncomfortable with that side. Guys, it is uncomfortable at first. Everything you do is uncomfortable at first. Mm-hmm. But you know what? There's some amazing resources. One of them is right right here beside me.
Yeah,
She's
no,
awesome.
absolutely.
You need to go see Amanda. Go see Digital Pro Lab. They can help you. And this uncomfortable feeling you're feeling is right. You should be feeling that right now, but you won't be. Not after visiting with them. Spend some time with Amanda at Digital Pro Lab.
All right, thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Amanda. She's awesome. So we certainly appreciate all that Amanda does for the San Antonio photography community, for all that Digital Pro Lab is doing for the San Antonio photography community, including you guys who are here today. Just by being here, in my opinion, you are uplifting not only yourself, but the entire photography community. Because the more we all learn, the more we all grow, the better we all become. And guess what? There's an awesome side effect to becoming better. We start charging more. We start charging an amount that causes us to be able to make an income, a real career out of photography. Lots and lots of photographers have. Lots and lots, even more, are going to, because of the time and effort that they are investing into their future, into their business, and into themselves. Thank you guys for being here. I'm Jim Landers, and my mission is simple. I help portrait photographers like you make a great income doing what they love. Each week you get tips and systems on the business side of photography, designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. I want to welcome you guys. I see several of you have already made some comments. Dave, thanks for being here as usual. I'm glad you're here. Good afternoon to you as well. Thanks for the compliment on the music and the graphics. Those are always fun to build. By the way, you guys don't see beforehand, but while the music's playing, I'm kind of just dancing to it because I want to get into that mood. But Amanda can see that. She's probably giggling as I'm moving around dancing because, I don't have rhythm. So it's probably pretty hilarious. But she's probably so busy she hasn't even noticed. Good morning, Rick. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here, Rick, spending your time with us. And the question that Amanda asked a little while ago was, what are you doing in addition to traditional printing? What have you tried? And so Liliana has commented that she's tried metallic printing and acrylic. Those are both really cool options, guys. Those are really cool. Liliana's commenting on Amanda, the comments I made on Amanda. She's awesome. So thank you for saying that, Liliana. Let's see. She also said, if you don't print your work, how do you know your work is good? I guess it's kind of all in your head, but that's not where we want it to be. We want it to be on the wall where you can experience it, where you can feel it, where the client who you say you care about can feel this emotion, this emotional connection to this beautiful photograph, this beautiful piece of art that you've created, because it's displayed on their wall for them to enjoy every single day. Something they can be proud of. When a neighbor comes over, when they have a get together, it's on the wall. It's not something that they can show when it's on a USB drive or hard drive. It's probably gotten lost already. Yeah, on the wall. That's where we show it. That would be a good one. Class about ratios, printing, DPI. Yeah, I agree. Facebook user. By the way, if you guys are seeing Facebook user, it just means either it hasn't gone through yet or you haven't clicked on the StreamYard permission link. It'll tell me who you are and with a photograph. It does take a moment, so maybe this occurred before that actually changed. Let's see, Rick. Oh, good. Yeah, Spider X Pro. So calibrating a monitor is it's a pretty good idea. Is it an absolute necessity? Well, I guess not, because a lot of people don't do it. In fact, a lot of people probably don't even know about it. But calibrating your screen, your screen is different from the next person's screen. You know, when you put a photograph up on social media, it's probably going to look different on the next person's computer screen. It is. But as far as you and your printing, having your computer your monitor calibrated helps tremendously with getting consistent photographs from Digital Pro Lab. Yeah. Thank you for commenting on that, Rick. Another good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm glad you're here. Again, click on the StreamYard permission, and that way I can see who you are and be able to say your name. I'll know who it is that I'm talking to. Woo, a lot of good. So I want to encourage you guys, continue to do what you're doing. Comment. Put your comments right there on Facebook or on YouTube, whichever you are. It will collect those and it will show them to me right here on my screen so that I can react to them. So go ahead and continue to do that. I also encourage the likes and the loves. We like likes and loves. So yeah, continue to do that. Steve, glad you're here today. Stephen Rose. All right. Steven Alvarez, I'm glad you're here. Been waiting for this one, huh? Did that title get you? Yep. I hope that did get your attention. Well, Steven, I'm glad you're here. It looks like there's a question from another Facebook user. Let's see, silly question. Let's see if that's a silly question. Would it be better to send them to Digital Pro Lab for the prints with a lower cost for their photo session, or charge them more and provide prints to them, which is more customer friendly? Okay, I do like that photograph. You are the artist, in my opinion. I know not everybody agrees with that, but as a photographer, in my opinion, you are a custom artist creating something with an audience of one. Could be one couple, one individual, one family, one mom, but it's an audience of one. If you're a family portrait photographer, can you sell the photograph that you created from the last family portrait session to the next people who come to visit about a family portrait? Of course not. But if you were selling, let's say you created couches, Ashley Furniture or any of them, if you were to create a bunch of couches, you could sell that same design. You could create it once and sell it 1,000 times. Therefore, you have a much larger audience to sell to. Not as a photographer, not as a custom photographer. As a custom photographer, you are creating one. You are the artist. So therefore, in my opinion, you should see the art through to its completion. Again, this is one guy's opinion. You do not have to agree with me. I'm going to share my opinion on this. To me, complete the job is what every photographer should do. Now, does that mean every single time? I do believe there are times where digital files are appropriate. Let's say you are doing headshots for local businesses. To me, the end result is a digital file a lot of times. It isn't always. Sometimes it is a print, but sometimes it's just a digital file. If that's the end result, then that is completing the job. But if you're a family portrait photographer and you hand over the digital files, even if you sell them for a good profit, the job's not done yet. There's still more work to be done. You guys, you're in a service industry. If you give your client more work to do, it doesn't seem very kind. Is there a roofer who gives you more work to do? If you're going to a restaurant, do they make you shred the lettuce? I mean, you know how, so therefore you should do it, right? Save some money. That's not how it works, guys. You're in a service industry. Do not give your clients more work to do. That's mean. It's rude. It means you haven't thought it through. I'm not saying those who do that are mean or rude. I'm actually saying maybe they haven't thought it through yet. Maybe they have. To each his own. It's my opinion that you finish the job every single time, no matter what. Find out what completion means and complete it. For most situations, it's a photograph on the wall, especially for the kind of work I do. I specialize in emotional family portraits as home decor. Therefore, done to me means I have installed it on their wall and photographed it on the wall and photographed them standing in front of it on the wall. And that way I can share that. Everybody can share a pretty photograph. You see that on social media all the time. How many of the photographs that you see are photographs of their work on their client's wall? Very few. Take that one step further and include that happy family standing in front of the photograph that you've just installed on their wall. man, yeah, that's the way to go. So, in my opinion, customer friendly, I call them clients, by the way, but either way, being friendly means finishing the work and not giving them any more work to do. That to me is friendly. But everybody's got a different understanding. Thank you for asking that question. Let's see. Rick, I want to make my clients happy every time they pass by their purchase and for generations to come. Awesome, Rick. That's exactly how I feel too. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that, Rick. Hey, Pam, glad you're here today. And it looks like Liz is here too. Pam and Liz, thank you guys for being here. Okay, those questions were from Daryl Edwards. So Daryl, thank you for asking those questions. So those are really important questions, so that we gain a different understanding. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it Jim's way. In fact, I don't even consider it my way. I just consider it the way that's best for the client. But you guys get to define what that means to you and to your target market. It is different for every situation. Whenever someone is in a private session with me, I don't tell them what to do because I can't. It's kind of like I've seen people critique other people's work, and it's fine on the surface. But if you're actually trying to help them, then find out what their intent was and base your critique on the intent of the photograph. It's one of the things when I'm looking at a photograph, when I'm doing a critique, the first thing I say is, what are you trying to do here? What's the end result? Who's your audience? I'll tell you a quick story. Several years ago, a photographer, young photographer, showed me her work, and it was extremely unusual. Extremely unusual. In fact, I guess I could describe it to you. She would move the camera purposefully while doing portraits. And she thought it was cool looking, and kind of is at first, but who's your target market for something like that? But to each their own. Just because I didn't find it interesting didn't mean I couldn't give her a critique or that it was necessarily a bad critique. So instead of saying, I don't like this stuff, I said, what's your intent? What are you trying to accomplish? What's your vision? Who is it that is your client? And what is the final destination? Where is this going to be displayed? And in finding out that information, guess what? Those photographs all of a sudden were pretty darn good because they met her description. Yeah. You've got to find out the end result and give them that. Rick. So you do some handyman work. All right. Maybe I could use some help with it around the house with a few things. But yeah, we want to complete the job. We have to define what that is, but we have, in my opinion, we have to complete the job. And it's final product it's what's missing right here. So he said, yes, I totally agree. Complete the final product. He says, as a handyman, I like to complete my job. Plus, I want to see the final product. You guys want to see the final product. If you've never seen your prints on a wall displayed proudly by whoever you created it for, maybe you're creating it for yourself, but the feeling of pride you get from that totally energizes you. There's times when you're feeling down, when you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling lost. This is actually very normal for a creative, especially one without a plan. By the way, even those with a plan still experience that. But you get it a whole lot less. You're a whole lot happier. You have a whole lot stress. And there's a whole lot fewer times that you feel like giving up. Yeah, but for a creative, these are normal things, guys. You do experience the highs and the lows. And there's times when you feel like you don't want to do this anymore. But you know what? You know you're supposed to be doing this. You feel it. And it's correct. That feeling is right. Keep on pushing it. Make sure you're pushing in the right direction because there's a lot of ways to push. You need to define what your end result is. Just like you're defining what the end result is for each client, you're defining what the end result is for you. every single step of the way is another example of end results. If you want to buy a new car within 2 years and you're saving up for it, then you have a 2-year end result, but then you've got a 5-year, a 10-year, you've got other things that you're working towards. Each one of those is an end result. All of those are just examples of things that you're working towards. You define what it is you're working towards, find a path, plan a path, and then get on that path with every single ounce of energy you have and a bit of stubbornness. Tweak as you go, and you'll reach that destination, that goal that you've set for yourself. You'll do it. I know you can. You're creative. You can create a way to make it happen. Stephen, thanks. I appreciate that. Get him here with the title. You can seek the seekers all you want. However, it is one of those things that, from my point of view, is an indicator that your marketing plans are either incomplete or non-existent, or you've kind of strayed from them. And the reason why it's an indicator is because your marketing, if it's done right, you'll be busy to the point where you won't be seeking out those who are looking. You won't have time for it. You'll be bringing in a steady flow of qualified clients. All right, let me define what that means. A steady flow, that part makes sense. You keep on getting people coming in, and leads are just the potential clients. So prospects, but a steady flow where they're coming in regularly. You've got calls, you've got emails, you've whatever it is that you've set up to receive business. But qualified is the part I wanted to spend some time with. We want to set up a system. In fact, I created a little banner for that so you can see it while I'm talking. I want you to create an organized structure that will allow you to follow a consistent system of optimized rules that you've set for yourself, so that you end up with what you expect each time. I just realized that's not exactly what I was after, but it's close enough. This is something you do for yourself, for your business. We creatives have so much energy. In fact, I call us the inflatable flailing arm tube men, because we see something, we get excited about it, and we just, woo, this is great, this is exciting, and we move with everything we've got. We've got passion, we've got dedication, and we move to this idea that we've come across. We research it. We make plans. We move forward with it. Sometimes it falls, but we have a lot of energy, at least at that beginning. But where is it going? The inflatable flailing arm tube man, guys, he's not going anywhere. He's got a lot of energy, but he's not going anywhere. Does that describe any of you? There are times when you are full of passion, full of dedication. You're doing this. But you look back and nothing much has changed. Or all the effort that you put into something, you got no sales. Yeah, that's frustrating for us creatives. That's when we reevaluate, when we start thinking about what is it that's causing this problem. Well, a lot of times the problem is you're setting short-term goals without first starting your long-term goals. Guys, when I say don't seek the seekers, when you seek the seekers, it's because you haven't planned something for now. You just see that list online. I was looking at I was on San Antonio Photography Facebook page while I was doing this research, and there's many times when someone asks the question of, "I'm looking for a photographer." Maybe it's for a wedding, newborn, boudoir, high school senior, lots and lots of different things. It's all a bunch of them. I'm looking for a photographer for whatever. And then how many photographers raised their hand and said, me, I do that. I'm not telling you you're doing it wrong. I'm not telling this is bad. I'm telling you it's an indicator that your marketing plans need improvement. That's what I'm telling you. That's what it's an indicator of. By the way, if you don't have good marketing plans, then Seeking the Seekers is the right way to go, because you got to at least try to do something, right? Man, that's always a slippery slope. My idea of you doing something is plan what you want. Everything you want. Let's define what that means. That means you define who you are. What do you want? What do you value? What's important to you? Include your family. Anyone who's important to you. What do you want? Take off all the things that you are filtering this through. Like, I'll never do that. I'm not that good. I don't have that kind of money. I don't live in that area. Guys, when you're brainstorming, allow your creative mind to do its job. Stop analyzing. It's too soon. Allow your mind to do a mental download. Write it all down. Now, for those of you who don't like to write, maybe like to open up Microsoft Word, turn on Dictate, and use your microphone and talk. It does a pretty darn good job. I do it often. What do you want? What do you value? What things have you seen that you'd like to emulate in some way? Define who you are. Define what you want. We haven't even begun to talk about the business side right now. We're going to. We're talking about you right now. What's important to you? What do you want in this lifetime? If there were no obstacles, no barriers, no walls, you could blink your eyes and have exactly what you want. What would that be? If you haven't defined that, do it. Do it today. Do not put it off. Define who you are. Define what it is that you want. Know the direction you're heading. Guys, if you were to get out, if you wanted to go downtown to the Riverwalk, maybe spend a little bit of time down there, you define the destination and you're defining what you want to do. You plan it. Yet there's so many creatives that have failed to do this for something much more important, their life and then their business. Yet they'll do it for a day trip or a vacation. You see the importance there. Why does the importance not show through when it comes to your life and your business? I would say that's even more important. Define you. Define what makes you happy. Define what energizes you. And then seek that. That's the personal side. Now the business side. What gives you the most enjoyment? I mean, we did a class or an episode on defining your niche or niche, depending on how you say it. But that's defining the main thing, the thing that you enjoy the most, the thing that brings you the most joy, the most value to your life. What is it? Real quickly, if you don't know, here's a quick exercise that you can do. Make a list on a piece of paper. Write down everything that you would say yes to. If someone says, "Do you photograph?" Write down everything is you would say yes to at this point. Write it all down. For some of you, that's going to be a large list. Others of you have already narrowed things down, so it won't be a large list. But for most photographers, if they haven't done this assignment, this will be a large list. Again, write down everything that you would say yes to when a prospect says, do you photograph high school seniors? Do you photograph maternity? Do you photograph children? Do you photograph lifestyle where we're running around the park and you follow us around? Do you photograph business openings, events? Write down everything you can think of that you'd say yes to. Once you're done with that, that's first. Second, circle the ones you really like. Just circle them. Circle them. Circle the ones you really, really like. And then cut those out with a pair of scissors. Ball them up, put them in a bowl. Now this part is in your mind's eye. I am going to, again, in your mind's eye, I'm going to pull one of those things out that you liked. And you're never going to be able to do it again in your entire career. But before I do that, I'm going to give you one safe one. You pull one out before I pull one out. Do you know which one it is that's going to be your safe one? All right. You've now defined your niche. I no longer have to pull one out because you just defined it yourself. That does not mean you can only do that. What it means is there is so much to do and learn with just one that you are thinning yourself out when you have 27. Besides, do you have a marketing budget for all that? Most of us don't have a good marketing budget for only one thing, and yet you're thinning yourself out. What about time? It takes time to market your business. If you've got 20 different things that you do and you're spending time on each one of those, sharing with the world what it is you do, you have thinned yourself out. That's why I think you should narrow down. Not because you're not good enough to do the other things. There's nothing to do with that. It has to do with your brain can't handle that much, and neither can your budget. So narrow down to one, maybe two. Sometimes there's two things that go really well together. But narrow that down. Again, if a client says, can you photograph, and you want to do it, say yes. But don't spend your time and money marketing it. Narrow it down to one, if you can, or two. Define what you want, what energizes, what propels you, and then seek only that. That's funny, Rick. And Domingo, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Domingo, if you want, you can click on that StreamYard option there, right above, right at the top, at where the post is, at the bottom of the post, but not at the bottom of all the subsequent posts. It'll give you an option for allowing your name and your image to be used. And it's right here where it says the Facebook user. It'll have your name there and your photograph. Thank you for saying that, though. I appreciate it. So, yeah, there are so many things that we can do and that we get excited about. But if we are the inflatable flailing tube man, just moving all over the place, then we get burned out. That's what causes burnout, guys. You don't have enough energy for every single thing you have an interest in. You don't. So when you focus and you start working with those clients that bring you the most joy, Define what that means. Who are your clients? What kind of personality do you enjoy working with? And by contrast, you might want to also write down, what do you not enjoy so much? We want to avoid that. When you're just responding to someone on Facebook who says, I'm looking for a photographer who photographs something, just because you have the ability to press the button in front of that something does not mean you're the right tool for the job. Now, let me tell you about my philosophy on that. If we are willing to look at this without too much of an emotional connection, which is hard for us creatives, what we see, what we realize is that we're just a tool to help them get what they want. We are a tool to help our clients get what they want. By the way, they are a tool to help us get what we want too. We are using each other in that way. That's why I want you to seek those who give you the most satisfaction, the most joy, the most energy, so that you can continue to do this for an entire career. By the way, when you work with clients you like, and you know this, you want to do more for them and with them. If you're spending time with clients who drag you down, that means you're not spending time with clients who will lift you up. Define who it is that you feel is going to lift you up. Seek only them. When you narrow it down, that doesn't mean you only can do the one thing you narrowed it down to. Because those clients who you build these wonderful relationships with, they love you, you love them. Because of that relationship, they'll ask you to do the other things. So therefore, you'll have things that land in your lap without any marketing effort whatsoever. If and only if you focus. And because you're working with the people you like, you're enjoying doing all that other stuff. By the way, when you define who it is you like, define everything about them, including how they react to you, how they react to your prices. Do you like it when someone says, you photographers are price gougers? You're charging too much. That's crazy. I could buy a car for that. I've got a good response to that one, but that's not for today. But yeah, we get these kind of reactions, but we don't really like them. We like the ones that are more along the lines of, okay, that's a lot, but this is what I want. And man, you're good. You're worth every penny. That may be a price complaint, but that's a great one. I like that one. They believe in what it is that I'm doing, and they're willing to pay. One of the things you need to define, of course, while you're doing your planning is what amount of money does it take to reach those goals that you defined. Most of us creatives skip the math. Now, we might do a little bit here and there on the surface because we want to know how much we're spending and how much we're making, and does that sort of make sense there? So yeah, we spend a little bit of time with it, but not the amount of time you really should. When we're defining what it is we want out of life, we need to put a dollar amount next to that so that we know what we're trying to do. Most photographers, when they take time to go through their pricing with me and their long-term, by the way, I do this for you guys. I've done this for, I don't know how many hundreds of times. I think it's over 500. So if you haven't taken advantage of it, what are you waiting for? Are you afraid? Please don't be. It is not in your best interest to be afraid. It is in your best interest to find solutions and put a laser focus towards it. I can help you by you defining what it is that you want. We to put numbers to that, and we find a path to help you reach it. It's actually not hard. It just takes a little bit of time. Absolutely want you to take advantage of that. When you define what it is that you want. When you know what you're heading towards, you give yourself the potential to reach it. If you haven't defined what it is you're heading towards, how will you even know if you reach it? You may have heard me say this before, but there's advice out there. It's good advice, but it isn't directed advice. So that makes it not so good. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it isn't helpful. Things like, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping you have heard this before, but get out on the road, pound the pavement, just secrets to success. It isn't that they're wrong on the surface, but they can be applied incorrectly. You can work incredibly hard and still not reach what you feel is success. But most of the times, because we haven't defined it. I mean, let's say that we're on I-10 in San Antonio on the northwest side of town near the Rim Shopping Center. If we get out on I-10, that's a good road. It's a good road. Get out on I-10 and we just start driving. How will we know when we've got there? Right. You have to define where there is. You have to define where there is for you. Once you have defined what it is you want in life, and then the next step, defining what you want in business, then we can be pretty darn specific on what it is that we want. Now, because this also implies a strong marketing plan. Now, I mentioned this before. You want to create an organizational structure that allows you to follow a consistent system of optimized rules so that you end up with what you expect each time. When it comes to the photographers who raised their hand and said, I can do that too. I mentioned before I was doing research, looking at the different comments that people have made. There were on the low end, maybe 15, 20 people who said, I can do that too. On the high end, it was 60, 70. I saw one that was over 90 of photographers who raised their hand saying, I can do that. Guys, if you're not doing things that cause you to stand out from the crowd, then you're in it. If you're one of those 80, 90 photographers who says, I can do that, what are the odds that they will even see your name, much less reach out to you? You may think, well, I'm doing the things I need to do to stand out would be in that crowd. No, guys, you need to stand out from the crowd long before that. And your marketing can do that. When you're reaching out to those who are saying, I am looking for a photographer, think about this. How many people at any one point in time are looking for a photographer? What percentage of the population? Is it a large amount? Are 50% of the population looking for photographers right now? No. What about 20%? Not even. There is only between 1 and 5% of the population at any one time who is looking for a photographer. That means 95% of your target market is getting ignored by other photographers. But they don't have to be being ignored by you. When you intrigue your market, you cause yourself to be a field of one. Now, how do we do that? There are a lot of ways to do that. In my essential marketing class, I go over 9 different ways to do that. And I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But I used to seek the seekers too. I learned this. I evolved into this opinion. I didn't start with it. I got to the point where I did not have to do any marketing. I didn't do Facebook marketing. I didn't do Facebook ads. I didn't do ads in magazines, although I did occasionally because it was a fundraiser for an organization I believed in. But other than that, I didn't do it as part of the marketing plan because I didn't need it. I had a steady flow of qualified leads coming in. So there just was no reason for it. And when you have a steady flow of leads coming in, then you are not part of the crowd saying, I can do that too. What you make yourself is one person who can do that. One way to do that is through an alliance program. I'll give you a specific example. Let's say you're working with a realtor, someone who does a good amount of business. And each time they sell a home, they give a gift. Most realtors do. That gift, when appropriate, of course, could be a family portrait from you. They weren't looking for a photographer. But if you've done your marketing right, then you could intrigue them to want to do business with you. And then you are a field of one. They're only looking at you. Therefore, you've got to be good at sharing what it is that you do so that they don't choose to look other places. But that's fine even so, because not everyone is your target market. Your target market is going to be those who excite you, those who energize you, those who push you forward, and those who are willing to do business your way, including pay your rates. You may be afraid to raise your rates. I get it. But you have to charge an amount that causes you to be able to reach your goals. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheels. When you seek the 95% plus, you may think, well, they're not looking for a photographer, so therefore they don't need one. Guys, nobody needs a photographer. Photography is a luxury item. You need to start treating it like one. Your success and even your sanity depends on it. Most portrait photography is a luxury item. I know not all. You have to get it for work, maybe. And there's other reasons. But portrait photography, the kind of portrait photography that I do, it absolutely is a luxury item. Treat it like one. In one of my classes, I suggest that you go to at least 3 different places that you consider luxury. See how they treat you. Now, of course, dress appropriately. Don't show up in your worst clothes. But see how you're treated. Identify what in that environment says luxury about it. Smells, the things you see, what they say to you. Observe everything from the moment you drive up, the parking lot, the entry, everything about it. Make note of it. Now, this is mental notes. You will look funny if you're taking physical notes as you're walking through their place. Yeah, okay, maybe don't do that. Mental notes. But understand you have a luxury business. You have to treat it like one. There are some types of photography that seeking the seekers is the right thing to do. So let's address that. For instance, you're not going to get someone who is not thinking about getting married to buy your wedding photography packages. Got to seek the seekers in that instance. So I'm not talking about wedding photography. Now, how do they do that? They're going to have to find out who is getting married. They're going to have to be in the places, the magazines and on websites, on Facebook pages. They need to be where their clients are going to be. Same thing applies to everybody else. Be where your clients, your ideal client, has the potential to see you. Now, where is that? For each one of us, that's different. So I can't make a blanket statement that applies to everyone who's watching this. But when it comes to portrait photography, which, that is the name of the show. There we go. When it comes to portrait photography, understand this is a luxury item. There are more people who are not looking for what is going on than people who are. That does not mean they aren't part of your target market. It absolutely means that they are part of your target market. If you have done your marketing correctly, you will attract the people in the 95%. One other example. Let's say you are a family portrait photographer, and there is a local restaurant that you like, you appreciate, you like going there, maybe even know the owner. At least you have the opportunity to find out who the person is and be able to meet with him or her. If your work were proudly displayed in their restaurant, now you may wonder how. I don't have time to go over that in this episode, although in my essential marketing class, which starts on September 21st, I'll talk about that in just a moment. I will tell you exactly how. And it's a little bit easier than you probably are thinking. It's not a favor. If it becomes a favor, you've done it wrong. But I go into that in total detail. You'll know exactly what to do if you take that class. So if your work is up in that environment, people are coming in, they're having lunch, they're having dinner, they're seeing your work on the wall. Some won't like it. That's fine. I don't need for everyone to like it. I don't have enough of me to go around. Besides, I don't even like everybody. I like a lot of people. I'm kind of that way. But still, I don't want to work with everybody. There's certain people I really, really enjoy working with. And they can fill my time because there's enough of them. But my work is up on the wall. They see the work on the wall. And next to it is a card. I call it a takeaway card or a lift card. There's a bunch of them in there, and they can take one. And it has information about what it is that I do and how to reach me. What are the steps to doing business with me? It has photographs on there, and each one of them has a testimonial. And the photographs that I share, I like to show them, the images that I show are on someone's wall. And ideally, the family who's in it is standing in front of it thrilled because they're so happy that it is on their wall. That's how I like to show my work, because any photographer can show a photograph, but you've got to stand out from the crowd. So don't do what everybody else is doing. One up it. 10 times up it. What everybody else is doing, think how you could do better. You're creative. I know you can do it. Those photographs up on the wall, someone takes that card. I am the only photographer they're thinking of. And if they like what they see, and then they contact me, and they like what they've heard, then they don't even bother calling anyone else. The majority of my clients never called anyone else. They weren't comparison shopping. You guys, when you put your contact information on Facebook when 50 other people do too, do you really think they're not price comparing you? There's always someone who's less than you. So therefore, stop going after them. You're wasting your time. Those of you who have really low prices, okay, go ahead and do that. Except you'll never reach your goals with those really low prices. Never. You're spinning your wheels. I can mathematically prove this. By the way, one person told me the reason why they didn't contact me to do the business assessment consultation is because they knew that their numbers were too low and they were unwilling to change them. It made them too uncomfortable. Why would you purposefully go the wrong direction to your goals? If you know you wanted to get downtown and you were at I-10 at the rim in 1604, if you're on I-10 at the rim 1604 and your goal is to get downtown, you know which way to go. Because if you went the other way and you just kept on going, give it everything you've got, you'll wind up in El Paso. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with El Paso. I'm saying that if you define your goal as getting downtown, you went the wrong way, no matter how much effort you put into it, no matter how passionate you were, no matter how dedicated you were, no matter how many accolades you got from people saying you're working hard, you're doing great. If you're heading in the wrong direction because you didn't define your direction, you're the problem. Open your mind to it. Hey, Miguel. Liliana, the seekers even put a price to your work. I need a wedding photography and the budget is $500. Yeah, they do. And sad part, you'll find 50 photographers who are saying they will do it. Yeah. Guys, have you ever priced yourself? How much are you worth? Every one of you has a dollar amount. You may not like that. That may make you feel uncomfortable, but you've got to know what your hourly rate is, not because you charge it. Most photographers don't charge hourly rates. That's not how we charge. Occasionally there's examples where that is appropriate, but how much are you worth per hour for every hour you're working? Not photography time. Every hour you're working. You must know that number. You must know it, guys. It's not a suggestion. I'm telling you, you will fail if you don't know your numbers. And I can help you with that with my business assessment consultation. And guess how much I charge for it? I don't. That's how much I believe that you need it. I don't want money to be the excuse. Oh, I can't afford that. You can't afford free. Business assessment consultation. Ask me about it. I'll give you one. I'll tell you how much you are worth for every single hour you work. And then when you see something that Liliana has commented on, thank you for posting that, Liliana. When you see that, you can see how many hours will I have to dedicate towards this and how much am I worth for every hour I'm working, not just photography time, every hour I'm working, how much am I worth? And you can see whether that number makes sense or not. Sometimes it will. Most of the time, it won't make sense. Now you may give the excuse of, well, the people I'm working with can't afford that. Guys, you're working with the wrong people if you're saying that. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm saying you will never reach your personal goals. Don't you owe it to yourself and your family to reach your goals? Don't you care about you and your family above the masses? Because I think you should. I'm not saying don't care. Obviously I do, or I wouldn't be doing shows like this. But I'm saying in order to make a career out of this, in order to charge a fair amount, even if you're not trying to charge make a career out of it, maybe it's just some extra money, you still deserve what you're worth. That's funny. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. I want to suggest something to you guys. And I'm going to show you the, let's see, I need to change that to, I have a class that I want you guys to seriously consider. And yes, I do charge for it. I don't give everything away for free because I like food. I like a house. I like electricity. I like being able to bring this to you. So yeah, I do sell stuff. And I usually don't talk about it, but you guys know this is how I make my living now, is by helping photographers make a career out of their passion for portrait photography. That's what I do. And so I'm going to tell you about my essential marketing program. There's 9 things that I go over in detail, and I'm going to tell you what those 9 things are. I'm going to talk about how to use a phone. We have a script. I don't want you to read from it, but I'm going to give you the importance of it. We're going to be talking about how to use a mini session as an effective marketing tool. Oh my gosh, it's an effective marketing tool. If it's done right, if it's part of your plan. Winning while helping others to win. Big. Referral marketing. Guys, you might think that referral marketing is somebody else. It's them doing it. It's them talking about it, and it's great. But you can create a system for referral marketing that blows up just the talk about it. You'll get 5-10 times more business if you've got a system around your referral marketing. Alliance marketing, big one of my favorites. Online marketing, it's got its place. Endorsed marketing, very similar to Alliance, except that you are leveraging the list of other businesses and they're leveraging yours. There's more to it than that. We'll go into it in detail. You'll know what to say, who to say it to, and what to do to nurture that relationship. Database and contest marketing. There's a lot of good contests out there, and there's some that really don't do anything for you. So we're talking about ways that could really work. And then exhibit marketing. I definitely believe that you need to have your work in places where it can be seen by your target market. I want you to get used to showing your work. And because I want you to get used to showing your work, I want you guys to consider going to elevateexhibit.com. Let's post that real quick. Elevateexhibition.com. By the way, the next meeting, the next episode is going to be a segment called Uplifting Photographers. And this is going to be an interview with Tara Eggy. She is the organizer of Elevate Exhibition. Now, if you're not used to showing your work, get used to it. This is an extremely effective method for getting the type of clients that you want to work with and getting them to see your photographs in the way you want them to be seen. Printed, framed if it's appropriate. ElevateExhibition.com. Yeah, definitely recommend that you look into that. By the way, there's a cost associated with that. It's really low, in my opinion. I know everybody's got a difference of opinion. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Price is in the eye of the beholder. Go to elevateexhibition.com. Look into that. It's fantastic. I really want you to participate. I'm recommending that you participate. So back to my essential marketing. It is 9 tools that bring you consistent and qualified leads. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you what I'm talking about. So I want you to go to landersphotoschool.com. Here's the business programs. Here's essential marketing. You see, it's right on the front page, just below everything. Business programs, essential marketing. And this is coming up on September 21st. It's $1,000. And you may think, I can't afford that. I understand. Some of you think, oh, that's all? Guys, I'm going to be raising this price. This class is worth way more than this. I am going to be raising it, but not until after I've told you guys about it. I've done this class annually. I only do it one time a year for several years. And I guarantee that you will make the amount that you paid during the class. During the class. It's a 9-week session. You will make that amount, if not a ton more. You'll make a ton more. But I guarantee you'll make that amount, the amount that you paid during the class, not sometime afterwards. No, during. That's how confident I know that this works. And I guarantee it with my time, meaning I will give you private classes if it doesn't. Look at the details there. It's up to 2 additional private classes, and I'm going to give everyone one. Is worth every penny and a lot more. It's why I'm going to be raising the price. All right. So that's essential marketing. I also want to let you know that Photo 101, I have found there's some professional photographers who have been doing this for 10, 20, 30 years who don't have a good control over their basics. At the very least, you need a refresher every once in a while. So I'm recommending Photo 101, the basics, starting beginning September 13th. It's 2 times a week, Monday and Wednesday, 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'll share that with you real quick. Going back to that same screen. Share. There we go. I just moved it where I can't get to it. Let's see. Fix that real quick. is. All right, so coming back over here, going to classes, and then to Photo 101 as soon as that comes up. So Photo 101. And this is for me, or this is a gift. A lot of times it's a gift, but this is for me. And then add to cart. Now, I'm going here because I want you guys to see this. I want you to enter in a promo code, Portrait Profits 50. You do that, it's going to take $50 off your price. So that's Photo 101. Go to landishphotoschool.com and you'll see that. So you'll see that price reduced by $50 just because you're here. And I'll put that in the, let's see, paste banner. So enter in Portrait Profits 50 for $50 off Photo 101. That starts on September 12th, 2 times a week. I want you guys to know about Digital Pro Labs special this week. Digital Pro Lab is giving 30% off if you use this promo code, 30% off of the 7.5 by 11.5 photo slate. It's pretty darn cool. I don't know if you've tried different types of materials to print on, but a photo slate, kind of cool. If you do try something new as your promo code, then you get 30% off of the photo slate. So go to digitalprolab.com, order the 7.5 by 11.5 photo slate with, of course, the photograph that you want to put on it. And then at checkout, use promo code Try Something New. Try something new. So that is this week's promo code from Digital Pro Lab. Just go to digitalprolab.com to see that. I also want to make sure you guys know about the photo tournament, the annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. This is the 9th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. This one is going to be done virtually. So you could be anywhere. You could be at home. You could be at a park. You could be in Colorado. You can be in Canada or any other sea place. Just kidding. You could be anywhere. You just have to have access to the internet. That morning, you'll get a list of the categories. There'll be 15. You can compete in all of them or one of them. You have your images in before noon. The judges begin their process at noon. And by about 2 o'clock, we'll start announcing who the winners are. You'll get certificates and prizes. This is going to be first, second, and honorable mention in every category, and grand prize overall. So a fun event. Now, this isn't an event that has the purpose of saying who's the best photographer in San Antonio. It has nothing to do with that. This is fun, total fun. So the 9th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. I want you to go to saphotoevents.com, saphotoevents.com for information about the annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. And then Photo SA. The Photo SA is a camera club that's been around since 2006. It meets on the second Thursday of every single month, and it has never, ever missed a single meeting. Probably one of the most consistent camera clubs in the area. Not the oldest. There's several that are older. One of the largest, but not the largest. This Photo SA has 1,800 members, although only about 150 are active. But go to meetup.com/Photo SA. The next topic, we bring in a speaker every single time. This next one is about photographing in public parks. We have someone who, 2 different people, both are lawyers and both are photographers. And one of them actually worked on the case that went to court about photographing in public parks. And so you want this insight. That's on the second Thursday. So that means a week from this Thursday. Go to meetup.com/Photo SA for those details. Guys, I appreciate you being here. I hope you've learned something today and are able to apply it, because you've got to apply what it is that you learn. Just hearing about it, that's good. Applying what you learn, that's where change comes. And that's what we need. We need to grow. We need to keep on using that passion, that dedication with a laser focus heading towards whatever our goals are. And if you've got a good marketing plan, portrait photographers, I'm not talking about wedding photographers, you portrait photographers, if you've got a fantastic marketing plan, then you will never have to raise your hand when someone says, do you photograph weddings? Do you photograph this, that, or the other? You'll be too busy with qualified clients who aren't price shopping, who aren't looking for that $500 wedding. You don't need that. It won't help you reach your goals. It wastes your time and theirs. I recommend having a fantastic marketing plan. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you saying that. And again, I always encourage you guys to post in the comments. The thank yous make me feel good. I sure appreciate it. The likes and the love also do. But any thoughts, any questions that you have, I want you to share them here. After the show, you can still post them. They just won't show to me here, but they'll still be available on the Facebook page or YouTube. We're also on Digital Pro Labs YouTube page. So that's where you that's where we'll be seeing those. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate you guys being here, taking your time. I know you're sacrificing something else to be here today, and I really appreciate that. I'm watching the comments come in. I'm not posting everything that I'm seeing, but I definitely thank you guys for those kind comments. Oh, thank you, Stephen. Good. I'm glad you feel that way. Yeah, keep them coming. They're making me feel good. I appreciate it. Again, I'm not going to click on every single one of them, but I do appreciate you guys posting and the likes and the loves, and it's all wonderful. Again, the topic for next Monday is uplifting photographers. That's the segment. And the person that we're going to be talking to who is uplifting photographers is Tara Eggy, and she is putting on with a group of people. It isn't just her, but she is the organizer. She's putting on Elevate Exhibition, and that is the day after the annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. It's the Monday. Annual San Antonio Photography Tournament is on a Sunday. That very next Monday is Elevate Exhibition, and it's an exhibition that's downtown. Lots of different photographers are going to be there. There's a lot already who have signed up. There is room for more, although it is filling up. It will fill up, so I wouldn't wait to do this. Thanks, Stephen. Steve is signed up for the Essential Marketing class, so I'm thrilled that you're doing that. And everybody's welcome to. You will be thrilled. You will be. So thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. So let's see. I want to leave you with something before I close. My portraits are important. They sometimes are the only thing that proves someone ever lived. And you are creating that for someone. My grandmother passed away recently. Wonderful person. She was 96, lived a great life. And I have a photograph of her on the wall from when she was in her 30s. And I'm very proud of that. Some photographer created that just as his job. Maybe he had the feeling about portraits like I do now. Maybe he didn't. But he created something beautiful that is lasting way longer than a lifetime. You photographers, you portrait photographers are amazing. You are great. I have this 1 minute Kodak commercial I'm going to share with you. Let's see. I think I'm going to share it with you.
Listen. Can you hear them? Listen. Can you hear them?
Hear what?
Listen, just listen.
I can't hear anything.
The pictures. They're talking.
The pictures are talking.
Yeah. But you have to be quiet. You have to be very, very quiet so you can hear them.
What are they saying?
They're saying, keep me,
The pictures are saying keep me,
protect me, share me,
share me.
keep me, protect me, share me, and I will live forever.
I can hear them. I hear them too.
Keep me, protect me, share me, and I will live forever. Guys, that's what you do as portrait photographers. You are creating these memories that people will have long after people have passed away, for generations to come. This is who you are. This is one of the most important professions, in my opinion, that there are, because it's one of the few that lasts well beyond us. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here on the Portrait Prophet Show. For Landers Photography School, let me start that again. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, this is Jim Landers, bringing you the weekly Portrait Prophet Show, giving you evolving content, awareness, and even fun to the business side of photography. We provide helpful information, step-by-step processes, how-to articles, and action steps that will help you with the struggles you deal with now so that you are constantly realigned to the path that leads to the success you deserve. Thank you guys for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next week.